everyone, it's Sanity is Good here, and welcome back to Umineko no Naku Koro ni. As always, I am joined by my good friend Kit.
Hello!
Just as a heads up for everyone watching this, this is going to be the last stream we do of Umineko on Twitch, because apparently it lags pretty bad, and so to keep up with the, storytelling and for it to just be a better experience all around, we're gonna go ahead and just record it. So if you're part of the Discord, you will get to see it as we're doing it live. If not, then you're gonna have to go to my YouTube channel, which I'll put the link in the description, and that's where you can find the rest of the story. So we'll be.
And this should also prompt you guys to join the Discord because we have fun on this Discord.
Yeah, the Discord is generally for patrons only, but there's a select few of people that I've been doing collabs with and commissions and stuff like that that are part of it. So, which, if you want to be a patron, it's like $2 a month to be part of the Discord. It's pennies. So, that change you got shoved between your couch cushions, you could go ahead and join it and talk with us and have a good time. So, alright. What is it that Krauss has to show Natsuhi? I wonder.
Oh god, the fear of all of this.
I kid, I know what it is, but I'm not gonna say anything. Okay.
This is me.
Is it you? Okay, I was like, I can't remember who's talking right now. Like,
this is me.
Okay.
It's me. There is no need for you to worry about anything said by those three, or even the suspicious person who calls herself Beatrice. After all, the gold is just a ruse created by Father. There's no way something like that could be found. Your position as the successor is a solid fact. What are you afraid of?
Krauss removed the padlock on the door. Oh, that's right, he took her to, like, this door that was locked. He then motioned for Natsuhi to enter. Enter.
What is this?
There's something I want you to see. I've never shown you this before.
I swear to God, if he pushes her down those steps.
Oh my god, I don't care about McAfee. Jesus Christ. Sorry, I had a free trial and now it's like over and my computer keeps bugging me about it. And I'm like,
so much.
Could you just stop? I don't want it anymore. I'm just gonna use the free Windows one. Like, leave me alone. Anyways, Natsuhi timidly opened the door with a dubious expression on her face. It was pitch black. She searched for a switch to turn on the lights, but since this was her first time in the room, she didn't know where it was. Krauss entered behind her, pushing her in, and when he closed the door before turning on the lights, the two were swallowed up by the darkness. Only the sound of Krauss locking the door rang out through the dark.
What are you doing? The lights!
I am turning them on now. Wait. Just as he said, when Krauss pushed a switch on the wall, a flickering light turned on and lit up the room.
that is...
Natsui had her breath taken away. Oh god, the suspense is killing me right now. The room had no windows, and at a glance it appeared to be empty. In the middle of the room, a small round table had been set, and the lights brightened only that table, as if it were the leading part in a play. On top of the table, a red tablecloth of elaborate design had been set out, covered with dust. And on top of that, something about the size of a grown man's arm had been set down. That something took Natsuhi's breath away.
Holy crap!
It's a gold ingot of incredible purity. Without this, no one would have believed in the legend of the gold. It was an ingot of solid gold. Even in the faint light, it sparkled with a noble and dignified glint. This is not a proper ingot. I don't even know whether it was cast inside or outside the country. It took a high level of skill to make the purest of solid gold ingots, and in order to verify that purity, it was standard to have the original foundry and the name of the bank that guaranteed it imprinted on the gold. However, this ingot did not have that kind of seal. This mysterious gold bar had come from an unknown foundry. Look here. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's just a bar of gold. Natsui, following Krauss's words, timidly approached the ingot. Right there. Krauss pointed at the surface of the ingot. Natsui concentrated on that section.
I'm sorry, I'm still reeling over that there's a giant gold bar.
This right here, this is Kit's actual reaction.
I'm not even kidding, like, there's a gold bar, and you're showing it to your wife. Sir, in the right circumstances, that could be a blunt instrument. You realize this.
Nah, he loves her, it's fine. Right there was the thin imprint of the one-winged eagle crest. Natsui's breath was taken away once again. That's right. This is the legendary ingot that Father said he received from the witch that the president of Marusu witnessed and was allowed to select at random to take back with him, that gained the trust of the fixers in the business world. I had to use all possible means to find it. I found it before the other siblings could.
How could... Then... the legend of Father's gold... it actually exists?
It actually exists. The gold that Ushiramiya Kinzo received from Beatrice actually exists.
Impossible. So, it really does exist.
Natsuhi was shocked. Krauss had always said that Kinzo's gold was just a fabrication, so she had believed it as his wife. However, the reality was different. Since he held definite proof, he had been more certain than any of the other siblings that the legend of the gold was true. Because of this, Krauss was deeply frightened at the possibility that someone other than himself would find the gold he'd failed to find, costing him everything. But to Natsuhi, this truth was more than enough to split open her heart. She had thought that, as Krauss's wife, she should be his closest confidant, which was why she had selflessly supported him. And yet, he had hid this fact from her until today. Why?
This is why you don't hide things from your spouses. Because one little thing like this can make them turn coat. Have I been so undeserving of your trust?
That has never been my intention. There was simply no need to tell you.
Is that all a wife means to you?
Calm down. Becoming passionate easily is one of your bad habits.
You're the one who's making me like that, aren't you? I've been supporting you as a wife ever since I married into this family. For your sake, I throw away the family I was born into. And I've been offering up my heart and my body to serve you. And in return, this is what I get? How could you?
Krauss grimaced, looking annoyed. His expression effectively communicated how much he disliked this part of Natsui, even if he didn't say it out loud. God, he's such a dick.
Yeah. It doesn't look like I will be of any use to you anymore.
That's fine. I can resolve the troubles with the siblings by myself. I don't need your help.
That's wrong! This is the Ushiryomiya family's problem. It's true that I am not permitted to wear the family crest on my body. But I am still your wife. Even so, are you saying I'm not capable of helping you? Are you?
I especially wouldn't want to risk getting you involved. It would probably make your headaches even worse than they are now. Take a rest for today. The siblings will deal with the siblings' problems. It has nothing to do with you. That is all.
Dude, you missed the mark on that so hard, you don't even know.
A dull headache tormented Natsui. No matter what medicine she took, no matter what scents she burned, it wouldn't heal. In fact, simply wandering alone through the dark corridors and listening to the sound of the rain seemed to be a better cure. Maybe Natsui... Oh, you could go ahead and read this.
I may be Natsuhi, but I was never Ushiromiya Natsuhi. I've been despised and treated as a borrowed womb, and insulted when I couldn't even fill that role. Even so, I've tried to properly perform my duties as a wife. But now, even my husband has rejected me. I've done my best raising my daughter, as if it were the last job left to me. However, I've had no release from my anger and sadness, and they've caused me to subconsciously strain that relationship too. Because I've been excessively strict in Jessica's education, she dislikes me thoroughly. She despises me for having no interest in anything but grades. There is no longer anything I can do for the Ushiromiya family. No. That's no good. Despite it all, I must help my husband and beat back the schemes of the other greedy siblings. The family head won't be around much longer. Eventually, Krauss will succeed the head. and the next successor would be Jessica. Strictly speaking, the man who enters the family by marriage. By marrying Jessica will become the next head, but it all comes to the same thing. I have to make Jessica an excellent successor, whom everyone will accept as worthy to take over the Ushiromiya family. In the days to come, that greedy Ushiromiya Eva will probably be plotting to find some fault with the main family. And if all goes as she plans, Jessica will be dragged down from the succession, with George set up in her place. It is regrettable, but George is a man, and even more has matured as a person. Compared to Jessica, who is right in the middle of her rebellious period and whose grades are slightly below average, it can be seen at a glance who is more fit to succeed the head. So in order to secure Jessica's position, I need to turn her into an excellent person. After doing that, I want to find her an excellent husband worthy of the excellent person she will have become. A wonderful man who will truly accept Jessica and stay with her through all of life's joys and sorrows.
Was Natsui trying to entrust her daughter with fulfilling some desire of her own?
Yes!
Natsui thought back to the days when she'd had no choice but to marry into the Ushiromiya family because of that unavoidable fate. She had tried to block that from her memory. She had consciously forgotten it, and had actively attended to the life she'd been given as Ushiromiya Natsui, and in so doing, she had built up a new life. But just now, it felt like all of that had been casually rejected.
How should I think as I live my life? I do not know.
Natsui helplessly rested her head against the glass of the window. The glass, which was cool thanks to the raindrops beating against it, felt somehow refreshing. Even though it should have been emotionless, right then it seemed to be the only thing that could understand Natsui. At that point, even if someone had appeared, Natsui didn't intend to pay any attention to them. But she did pay attention, because it was her beloved daughter. Oh, it's you, Mom! What the heck are you doing in a place like this? I thought you were a ghost. Just like always, her words were rough and not at all like a girl's. Instinctively, words of rebuke rose to Natsui's throat. However, their strength gave out and they didn't escape her lips.
Jessica. Forgive me, but my headache is awful. Please leave me be.
I see. Jessica was seeing her mother in a position of feebleness for the first time, so she was considerably disconcerted. Until just now, she'd been filled with contempt for all of the parents, including her mother. But now, those feelings had been completely swept away. Her mother's utterly exhausted face had wiped them all out, 'cause she loves her mom! And In its place, the words George had told her floated back up in her mind. Her parents are doing their best in their own way. And because their families are counting on them, they can't afford to keep everything pleasant and have a heavy responsibility to fight. Maybe her mother had been standing around in this dimly lit hallway because no one had tried to understand that part of her. Jessica hated her mother. So, she had no intention of speaking kindly to Natsui just because she was looking a bit frail. So when she attempted to speak kindly to her mother anyway, she had to clench her fists and gather up the words from deep in her heart. Oh, I guess I was wrong, because she hates her mom. But deep down, she loves her.
She's just tsundere that way.
Yeah. It sounds like you've really got your hands full with that meeting thing.
It has nothing to do with you. Please go somewhere else.
Is your headache bad? Should I go get some medicine?
You don't have to trouble yourself. Please, leave me alone.
Natsui wasn't being cold. She just wanted her daughter to go far away so that she wouldn't have to bump against Natsui's own short temper. But there was no chance that Jessica would realize this. Okay. Jessica hung her head, looking sad. Seeing that expression, Natsui recognized the kindness that Jessica was trying to muster. She gave her head a small shake to drive away her own unkind feelings. Then I'll leave. I'll be with the other cousins, so I don't get in the way of the adults. See you later.
Wait there.
She called Jessica, who was trying to leave and looked lonely, to a stop. What?
Thank you for being so considerate. It isn't good of me to go to sleep and leave you alone.
Don't talk like that. You'll bring bad luck.
I've made you worried. But I'm okay now. I will go. If I let my daughter see me this feeble any longer, I'll only make her feel more uneasy.
With that thought in mind, Natsui left Jessica with words of gratitude and made to depart. This time, Jessica called out to her mother's back. Natsui stopped and turned around, asking what business Jessica had with her. But Jessica herself didn't know why she'd stopped her mother, and for a while she smiled wryly, muttering to herself as she hesitated over what to say. She was poking around in her pocket when her hand touched something, and she took it out. Hey, Mom! I, was given a charm today. What was it? A charm against magic? I'm pretty sure that you were supposed to hang it from your doorknob, I think. I forget. There's no point in me having it, so I'll let you take it. It was a scorpion charm that Maria had given her on the beach. Although she'd heard of its various effects from Maria, Jessica's mind had gone blank, and she was just barely able to say even that much. Jessica, thinking that her mother probably wouldn't accept it anyway, immediately drew back the hand she had stuck out, grasping the charm. So when Natsui came back to take it, she was extremely shocked.
What is this? Some kind of prize toy?
Well, I think it's something like that. I guess you wouldn't really expect a charm that looks like a toy to do anything. But her mother took the charm from where she grasped it in her hand.
Thank you. I'll take good care of it. Sometime soon. In exchange, why don't I give you a charm that was important to me as a child?
Sorry. I hit the wrong button.
And yet I still got it, except missing some words.
No, you got it down perfectly. Can I just say that your Natsuki is like on point? Like, I'm hella impressed right now. Doing very good. It's not
Thank
like,
you.
You're welcome. It's not like that's why I gave it to you. She's totally tsundere, oh my god. But, well, if you really say so.
Then I will rest for now. My headache is awful. Try not to stay up too late.
Sure.
Why do I feel like Natsuhi's gonna have an aneurysm at some point? Like, please don't kill her off yet.
Natsui put the charm in her pocket and turned away. She then disappeared into the dark hall.
It seems the weather will be like this all day tomorrow after all.
Dang, this makes the good weather we had earlier feel like a lie. George and Nikki and I were killing time in front of the parlor television. At that point, Jessica returned. Her face was still blank, but it looked like she'd calmed down a little since we'd last seen her. Is Maria still in front of the portrait? Nope. She just came back and she's sleeping over there on the sofa. It's getting pretty late for her after all.
Sweet child.
Looking at the clock, I saw it was a little past 10 p.m. Even if we were planning to stay up all night, it was about time to head back to our room. Well, my mom did have a room prepared for us in the mansion. What do we do?
I'd rather head back to the guest house. Going by what we saw of our parents, I think it'd be better if we weren't in the mansion.
I agree. Feels like they're telling us kids to mind our own business to stay out of their way. Let's be good little boys and girls and do that. As we were talking about this, Aunt Rosa came into the parlor. She was looking all over restlessly, probably trying to find Maria. Aunt Rosa, if you're looking for Maria, she's over there on the sofa.
Thank you. My, she's out cold. We must move her to bed. If you'd like, I'll carry her over to a bed. Thanks. That would be wonderful. Are you all heading back to the guest house? Or are you going to stay in the room Natsuhine-san had prepared here?
We were just talking about that. We just decided to head over to the guest house.
I see. Then, could I ask you to take Maria with you? I'd feel much more reassured if she stays with all of your cousins.
Behind those words, she seemed to be concealing some regret that the adults, herself included, had deeply hurt Maria's feelings. Leave it to us, Aunt Rosa. After all, we do have an expert at comforting Maria with us.
Are you talking about me? I couldn't do it myself. We'll need everyone together.
That's right. Battler, weren't you the one who hit it off with Maria when you were messing around earlier? As we said this, Aunt Rosa smiled, looking truly happy.
Thank you, everyone. It looks like our meeting will last until very late. So, while I'm sorry to burden you like this, I'll be counting on you all to take care of Maria. Jessica.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, Maria, are you sound asleep? We're going back to the guest house. Maria muttered something indistinct, rolled over, and fell back asleep.
Oh!
It looked like she was sleeping deeply. She's really out cold. Oh, good guess, dude. I wasn't sure. I thought it was Rosa at first. I'd hate to wake her.
Right. I'll carry her.
Maria's body was much lighter than it looked. I lifted her up and put her on George and Aniki's back. It was raining hard outside, and Aniki couldn't hold an umbrella and carry Maria at the same time. It looked like Aunt Rosa would come with us as far as the guest house to help out. However, when she heard Uncle Krauss's voice call out to her, she had no choice but to return.
Now that's a problem. I have to go back now.
Is everyone returning to the guest house? After we left the hall on the way to the entrance, the door to the servant room opened and Shannon stepped out. It has grown very dark, so allow me to guide you.
That would be great, Shannon-chan. George-kun is going to carry Maria there. Could you hold an umbrella for him?
Yes, certainly. Shannon brought umbrellas for each of us and a flashlight to guide the way. As we opened the front door, the downpour was quite terrific. It looked like we wouldn't have any spare time to take a pleasant walk and enjoy the nighttime rose garden. Aniki, is she too heavy? Want me to carry her?
It's okay. I can at least carry Maria-chan. I'm truly grateful. Please take care of Maria.
Sure, you got it! Then I guess this is good night, Aunt Rosa. Then I will see them over there and return here.
Yes, please.
Aunt Rosa watched us leave.
Maria, I'm sorry for everything.
Rosa's mumbling voice didn't reach the person in question, nor any of the kids, but disappeared beneath the sound of the rain.
Like Hurricane Katrina out here.
Right. After cutting through the rainy rose garden, we arrived at the guest house. If only I'd applied for the position of Maria carrier. Then I would have gotten a chance to have Shannon-chan's huge boobs rubbing all over my arm. Oh my god, Battler!
George, please! Say something! What? Why? That's not why I did it. It's a misunderstanding.
I thought that if it didn't look like this, George-sama would get all wet. Come on, quit babbling and go in! After being urged on by Jessica, we folded up our umbrellas and went into the guest house. Has anyone gotten their clothes wet? I could bring some towels if you want. You don't need to worry about us that much. Thanks, Shannon.
Ah, that's right. We were planning to play cards or something. Would you care to join us for a bit?
Huh? Who had the night shift on today's schedule? I believe we had a special schedule during the family conference. Also, I think a few alterations have been made, so I will go and check. Wait, if you have to go all the way back to the mansion to find out, don't force yourself. Oh, that's alright. I could find out from the servant room in the guest house. Please excuse me for a short while. Shannon-chan gave a quick bow and went into the guest house servant room. The rest of us headed for the cousin room and decided to put Maria to bed for the time being. Maria was sleeping very deeply, and there was absolutely no sign of her eyes opening. For now, we'd get some soft drinks out of the room's refrigerator and drink those while playing cards or something. Oh, Canon-kun. And you're here too, Genji-sama. What has happened with tonight's shift?
Krauss-sama has given an order. He made some sizable changes to the shift schedule. Hold on a minute. Indeed. I'm sorry, that's as low as I can go. I tried to be somber. I tried to be somber and solemn, but it's just like, oh god. Goto-san has the night shift at the mansion. Shannon and Cannon have the night shift at the guest house. Kumasawa-san and I have been ordered to sleep in the guest house. Just now, a phone call came saying that once you arrived, you were also to remain here for the rest of the night.
Huh? That certainly is a sizable change. The shifts at the guest house and the mansion have been completely reversed, haven't they? Originally, Shannon and Cannon had been assigned the night shift in the mansion, while the night shift in the guest house, where all of the relatives were staying, had been assigned to Goda, who had an abundance of experience in entertaining. Kumasawa should have been sleeping at the guest house, while Genji should have been sleeping in the mansion. Which makes sense, because if Kinzo needs him, he'll be right there. However, it seemed that Krauss had suddenly ordered that the schedule be modified. The shifts at the guest house and the mansion had all been reversed, and Genji was spending the night in the guest house.
It's probably because of Beatrice-sama's letter.
Why, probably.
After such a mysterious letter appeared, it was only natural that Krauss-sama would suspect one of us. We served directly under the master, so Krauss-sama tried as best as he could to keep us far away from the family conference.
Genji, Shannon, and Cannon were all permitted to wear the Shiromiya family crest, the one-winged eagle, as the servants who served directly under Kinzo. Of course, since they were working for the Shiromiya family, they had to obey anyone's orders, but their only boss was Kinzo. Since only Kinzo held the right to employ them, even Krauss could not have them dismissed of his own accord. Because of this, Krauss and the others often viewed these servants as Kinzo's underlings, and shunned them. And in fact, Kinzo seldom let anyone other than them enter his study. The sudden shift change was probably a clear expression of the sense of mistrust that had caused. Considering the time Kinzo had left to live, this would definitely be the last family conference before the problem of the inheritance came up. On top of that, the mysterious letter that claimed to be from Beatrice had dropped in out of the blue. Krauss definitely wanted to keep Kinzo's loyal subjects away from the table of such a delicate and important discussion.
If you would excuse me, I will go rest. If anything happens, call me immediately. Our guest tonight is a special case, after all.
Why is that bolded?
You know why!
No, I really don't, because when I originally read this, that was not bolded. Hold on, sorry. Yes, certainly, Genji-sama. Genji nodded back, went behind a screen, took off his jacket, and slowly began to relax after a day's worth of tension.
The ones who returned just now, were they the children?
Yes. The other relatives are having a conference in the mansion. It looked like it would drag on for quite some time.
Then we've got it easy. It's already this late, and there's this weather. The rest of the relatives will probably spend the night in their rooms inside the mansion.
Yes, probably. I'm only saying this because Genji-sama isn't around, but I'm a little happy I was sent to the guest house. I guess.
Oh? Why is that? Because you can stay away from Madam and Eva-sama, those bullies? Or do you have another reason?
It's not as though I have another reason.
Oh! I see. Then let's do our best together with our night shift. I'm counting on you, Nasa.
Just now, I was asked to go to the children's room and play with them. Shannon hung her head apologetically, gazing at Cannon uncertainly. Cannon didn't try to meet her eyes, and spoke curtly as he sighed. It looked like he didn't plan on indulging his sister.
You can't. You were assigned to the night shift. Besides, which, it isn't necessary for furniture like us to respond to an invitation to play. You understand, right?
Yes, I do understand. Shannon's shoulders drooped slightly. She had already expected that Cannon, a stickler for rules, would say something like that, but she still seemed a little discouraged. As Cannon flipped through a logbook, he spoke without facing Shannon.
That means the children will be waiting for you. You can tell it's canon because he uses such long ellipses. You'll have to apologize and tell them you have the night shift and won't be able to stay with them. Go and come back.
Yes. I'll go apologize and come back. Shannon hurriedly stood from her seat before her brother's mood could change and flew out of the servant room after giving a quick bow. As he watched her go, Kenna took a single deep breath. Genji's voice came from beyond the screen.
Cannon. I will be here, so you can go too. That's sweet of him. Genji-sama. Shannon was the only one called. It's not as though I was invited. That is only because you were not there at the time. If you had been, you would have been invited as well. It is good to play as a child from time to time. I keep forgetting that these kids are kids because they don't look like kids.
Yeah, he's like, Cannon's, what did they say? He's like 16 or something like that. Yeah, that's still a kid. Hold on, I gotta plug my laptop in. Give me 1 second.
Get to the charger!
Okay.
No, such a thing is not necessary for me. Human children may have a need to play, but we are furniture. I hate that. I hate that so much. I hate that so much. You have ruined a child. You have ruined a child. Is that so? Mei-san is also furniture. Even if she pretends to be a person, it will only hurt her later. I understand that, so I try not to get too close to people, that's all. Oh, you shy little boy.
Genji did not say anything after that. After a while, he stood up and used a pot of hot water to make powdered cocoa, serving some to Cannon as well. Is that for real? I had no clue. Dumbass, you're too loud. You'll wake Maria up. Battler was so surprised that he yelled obnoxiously and scattered his cards everywhere. His voice caused Maria to turn over once, but she soon fell back into a deep sleep. Jessica gave him a jab and he lowered his voice. Still, seriously, now that you mention it, they really did have that kind of atmosphere, didn't they? Ah, now I see, so George and Nikki is... George couldn't be seen anywhere in the room. A short while ago, when Shannon came into the room, George suddenly said that he'd forgotten something in the mansion and needed to go back and get it. Shannon said she would guide him, just like she had on the way to the guest house, and the two of them departed together. Well, there's actually been signs of it for a while now. You know, questions about hobbies and favorite things. I always thought it was a bit much for a passing interest, and look what's happened now! Come to think of it, I get the feeling George Aniki has always been overly nice to Shannon-chan. Now I get it.
Ooh. I'm getting gossipy now because there's nothing else left to do.
Right? This part is so cute though, like, it's like, oh, it's so adorable! Oh my god.
A meeting in the rain? According to the weather report, it looks like it'll be at its worst tonight. It also seems it'll last all day tomorrow, though it should get a little better.
Really? Then maybe the boat won't arrive until the day after tomorrow. I hope that doesn't interfere with your work on Monday.
I already knew the typhoon would be coming beforehand. Just in case, I made sure I didn't have any plans for Monday, so it's okay. I may not look it, but I really am the type who can plan ahead in his schedule.
George puffed out his chest, acting proud. Compared to the calm appearance George always had as the oldest cousin, he now looked amusingly like a little kid. Shannon chuckled at this abrupt contrast. It's no surprise you're so well prepared. As someone who will bring prosperity to his company someday.
Well, making a company prosper really is a tough job. Money isn't the only thing that's important. I learned that well when studying under my father. Making a company prosper is like owning a castle and leading your subordinates. My dad really loves reading about great leaders during the warring periods in Japan, a hobby that's probably influenced by the fact that he shares Totoyomi Hideyoshi's name. Much of his philosophy on managing businesses comes from talking about them. Did you know? Takeda Shingen, who was feared as the leader of the strongest cavalry corps in the warring period, started out with his troops in complete disarray, and didn't have the kind of strong leadership necessary to utilize them well.
Is that true? That's a little unexpected.
In order to unite his troops, Shingen showed his excellent leadership in many ways. For example, when a soldier succeeded well in battle, he would immediately honor them with a medal. Normally, that kind of thing was put off until after the war, and they were all awarded at once. He continued this diligently while on the field of battle, and immediately showing his appreciation for his troops' military exploits motivated them in an extremely significant fashion. Also, whenever one of his troops was brought down by an illness, he would be the first to rush up to them and care for them and so on. Takeda Shingen wasn't just a man who led the strongest cavalry corps in the warring period. He was the person who cared the most for his troops throughout that era.
And because he was that kind of person, all of his troops went along with him. The truth was, Shannon had already heard this story several years ago, but whenever a discussion of his father led to this sort of topic, George would always glow and look like he was having a great time. So Shannon just smiled without interrupting, urging him to continue.
Of course, in the capitalist world, money determines both your strength and the height of your fortifications. But you can't build up a castle or succeed in a war by yourself. Such things can only be accomplished with the support of many subordinates, by borrowing their strength. After understanding this, when I look at my father's back, I realize how immature I am. I can clearly see how much competition he had to overcome before building up all he has now.
George-sama, you truly look up to your father. I'm jealous.
Sorry. That's not how I meant it.
I'm sorry, that's not how I meant it either. The two of them awkwardly looked at their feet. Shannon had no parents. She had been brought up in an orphanage owned by Kinzo called the Fukuin House. Under the guidance of Kinzo, their honorary director, the orphanage offered members who excelled a chance for on-the-job serving experience. If their efforts met with Kinzo's approval, they'd be able to leave the orphanage and work as servants for the Shiromiya family. This was considered to be the highest honor for those who lived in the orphanage. The servants from the Fukuin House all took names with the character On in them while they served. So Shannon wasn't her real name. The same went for Cannon. All of the members of the Bukuin house were orphans. At least they were all people who had been separated from their parents under special circumstances. Because of this, the orphans had been taught to think of each other as their only family. That's why it seemed so natural to both of them when Cannon called Shannon his sister. And while both Shannon and Cannon were working in the mansion today, there were several other servants possessing the On character in their names, such as Manon and Lennon, who often worked in a rotation schedule. However, there were not many servants who stayed with the Shiromiya family for long. It was standard for them to quit after 3 years, so you could probably say that Shannon, who had been working for 10 years, was a notable exception to the rule. Working as a servant for the Shiromiya family was a heavy burden to bear, but the pay wasn't bad at all. Working for a full 3 years would earn more than what was needed to enter mainstream society. That was why, even though the orphans realized what a harsh task working for the Shiromiya family was, they still hoped to be accepted. Maybe the fact that Shannon managed to continue working for 10 years wasn't because she had more willpower than the other servants. Maybe she'd gotten stuck working for 10 years because she didn't have the courage to say she wanted to quit. Kinzo couldn't even trust his own blood relatives, and these excellent servants sent from the Bukuin house were the only ones he could rely on. Because of that, Kinzo would sometimes allow them to wear the family crest, as servants under his direct control, and have them work close to him.
You've been working here for almost 10 years now, right? You must have saved up a lot of money by now.
I wonder... It's not like there's anything in particular I'd like to buy. After all, a few million yen isn't enough to live off for the rest of your life.
So the reason you've been working all this time wasn't to hit some target sum?
Yes, that's right. I have nowhere to go outside this mansion, and I have been getting along well with Milady and the other young servants. The madam does scold me sometimes, but caring for the roses and cleaning the mansion is fun.
But that can't be your entire life, Shannon-chan. No, Sayo-chan.
Shannon cast her eyes downwards when she heard her real name. She understood what George was trying to say and fell silent.
There's something I've learned as I continue to study even after becoming an adult and a full-fledged member of society. A human's life is not as monotonous or short as we thought when we were kids.
All school-aged kids have certain fears they can't shake. They wonder whether they'll live the rest of their lives like sleepy classes after a monotonous and boring school day, spending their time in a carefree laziness without anything interesting happening until it's all over. However, life's only like that for underage students. Compared to humans' life, the time they spend as students is nothing more than a blink of the eye, a period where they break through the shells of their immaturity. The inside of the shell might be a hot, suffocating, and boring world, but the world beyond that shell is vast and filled with limitless possibilities.
So far, your life has been trapped inside this shell called Shannon. I think you're under the mistaken impression that your life will continue like this forever.
That's... Shannon couldn't deny those words. She'd been unable to harbor any clear doubts about her lifestyle, and since she never had any hope or goals for changing herself, she'd lazily continued living the way she always had. And if asked whether this life was satisfying, she wouldn't have been able to nod. She may have been intentionally averting her eyes from the truth. Without George's admonishments, she would have continued pretending not to notice as her real life slipped away bit by bit, neglected. George-sama, is it wrong for me to continue living this way?
Yes, it is. Oh, and by the way, didn't you break one of our rules just now?
George immediately gave a strict answer and then broke out into a mischievous smile. Shannon already knew what she was being chided for, and she hung her head again, apparently embarrassed.
promise not to use Sama when the two of us are alone.
For context, for people that don't understand, in Japan, like, the, God, what's the word? Like, say, like, referring to someone as, like, Sama, or Kun, or Chan, or whatever, it's, like, a huge part of the culture. So when you just say a person's name without any kind of, like, suffix at the end or whatever, it's a big deal. Like, it means you are...
That means, like, you're really close.
Yeah, you're really, like, intimately close. Like, it's like that's something that you would call, like, your husband or your wife. Like, kind
or
of
your
a thing.
child, sometimes.
Yeah, or, yeah. I couldn't obey that as a promise. But if it was an order, I would have to obey it. Because I'm... furniture.
Then it's an order.
Yes. Certainly, George-san. As Shannon hung her head, her face red, she said George's name again, this time following it with son.
Yes, that's fine. Sayo-chan.
George smiled at Shannon. No, Sayo, to praise her small act of bravery. This short exchange alone made it clear how far back the relationship must have stretched. For a long while, the two talked as if the weather raging about them didn't even enter their thoughts. They talked about the many memories they built during their relationship that no one else knew about. Every once in a while, a flash of lightning would attempt to interrupt them. This could sully neither the roses nor the time they spent blushing at each other.
That's right. I have something I wanted to show you.
Well, what could it be? George, who had been speaking eloquently, suddenly started to stutter. Watching him, Shannon seemed to guess something. George timidly searched through his pocket. Something got caught in the depths of his pocket, and just like the stuttering George, it took a little while to get it out. It was a very small box. Aww! A small box covered in a deep blue velvet. The peculiar shape was enough to tell anyone what was resting inside. Shannon had prepared her heart somewhat, certain beforehand that this was what he'd been planning. But even so, when she actually saw it, she couldn't avoid blushing once more. George opened the small... Sorry, I need a moment, because knowing the story, I'm getting a little emotional. George opened the small box, took something out, and held it out for Shannon to take.
I want you to take this.
I couldn't accept something so valuable.
You can't take it?
No, I'm unworthy of such a thing.
Sayo, this isn't a request. Okay.
No, just, no. Keep reading.
It's an order. Take this ring. Okay?
If it's an order, I cannot disobey.
Yes, that's right. Well done.
Shannon, not wanting to show her bright red face, timidly accepted the ring from George's hand while still staring at the ground. That ring wasn't a simple accessory. Yeah, no shit. It was a noble object, meant since ancient times to be offered to a special woman under special circumstances.
You don't have to drag it out. It just means that they're promised.
Therefore, while George could order her to take it, he could not order anything beyond that. Anything beyond that would depend not on an order, but on Sayo's own will.
So, from here on, I'm not ordering you anymore. Sayo, I want you to give me your answer without using words. Do you understand?
How should I?
So, this is an order. But a ring is something you put on your finger after all.
I just glanced at the chat. Thank you, Rox. Honorifics, that's what it was. That's suffix. Oh my god. Don't mind me.
You're okay. If you like it, you can just put it on any finger you choose.
Shannon had only pretended not to know. She already understood what he wanted her to do. But she was standing at a huge crossroads of her life.
Look how late it's gotten. Let's call it a day.
George turned away from Shannon, acting just a bit bluntly.
I could probably order you to wear it on your left hand. You might be timid and dependent enough to actually obey that kind of an order. But I want at least this last step to be done by your own will, Sayo. Understand?
Oh, God, it's so freaking romantic. Oh my god.
And just before crap hits the fan,
Right?
this is terrible. This is awful. This is just horrible.
Yes. I'm like over here just grinning, like.
So, that's my order. I want you to think about it well tonight and show me your answer tomorrow.
Shannon nodded back. Today was the culmination of their many days spent together. This moment certainly hadn't come as a surprise to Shannon.
We should be getting back to the guest house soon. If we take any longer, we'll make everyone worry about us.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just remembered something I had to do in the mansion, so, I have to go back to the mansion.
At a time like this? Is that true?
George stared into Shannon's face as he laughed mischievously. He definitely saw through Shannon's lie. However, when he saw how she felt, he could sort of understand that she might be so embarrassed that she'd want to be alone. So, because George realized the meaning behind Shannon's lie, he accepted it. She needs a moment to process this, dude, like...
Exactly, you just bring this up out of flippin' nowhere!
I mean, she had a feeling that he was gonna... Oh, wow.
Well, that ends there.
It's ending it right there.
It's almost midnight.
Uh-huh. Oh, gosh. I guess we should stop here?
Yeah.
That's a weird place to end it, though, isn't it? Like...
I mean, yeah, but maybe it's leading up to something.
Yeah, I mean, because technically that is the end of a chapter. I guess in my mind, like, I had divided it up differently, like... For some reason I thought it kept going, and then it... Okay. Alright, Ryukishi, we'll play your game.
You've played the game before.
It's been a long time since I've read this, like... I remember some of it, but not all of it. Like,
sure.
But yeah.
Sure. Sure. I don't believe that crock one bit.
But okay, guys, thank you for watching. Rox is like just hugging my dog, grinning like an idiot. I know, dude, it's so freaking cute. Like, I have so many feels for all these characters. I almost started crying, like, reading
and
that
now
part.
It's about to get worse.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said before, if you're wanting to watch more of this, you're gonna have to either watch it on YouTube or join the Discord, where we will stream it and record it for YouTube there. So it'll be fun. It'll be a good time. You should come and join us. So yeah, thank you again, Kit, for joining me. You can go ahead and follow me on Patreon, patreon.com/insanityizgood, and then you can also find me on youtube.com/user/insanityizgood. So tomorrow night, I'll be doing more Death Stranding. We'll do see if we can convince the Craftsman to join the Chiral Network, but we'll see. So yeah, stay safe out there. Black Lives Matter all day, every day, forever.
Absolutely. Please sign those petitions. Like, shout outs to everybody out there who's like doing everything they can to help out. We thank you guys so much.
And if you aren't able to protest, there are tons of charities you can donate to. Like Kit said, there's petitions all over the place for it. You can also go on itch.io. There is a bundle that you can get of, like, I think it's like over 700 games or something, but all the proceeds that go, like every dollar that they make of people, you know, buying this huge ass bundle with all these games, all of it directly goes to the I believe it's the NAACP and God, what was the other one? I can't remember what it's called, but I think it's like a some kind of like bail some like bail foundation or some kind of organization that's trying to help get the protesters out of jail and pay bail for them. So all of the money that they're making from that is going towards those guys. So they're doing some real good out there. So if you can't protest or whatever, you can do what I did and, you know, throw some moolah their way.
Or if you can't sign petitions, or if you can't donate money, look up videos of people who are look up videos on YouTube. There is a bunch of videos out there right now that if you watch them, all of the ad proceeds from YouTube will support Black Lives Matter. You don't even have to like do any money. You just share the video. Make it so that YouTube would show more videos to more people who are watching on YouTube. That way you could just spread the word and all the ad revenue, like turn your ad blocker off and just let the ad revenue pay into that, and that'll help support Black Lives Matter as well.
Yep, so there's plenty of things for people to do, and as always, just, you know, love each other, treat each other well. Let's, you know, we're all part of this big community on this planet called Earth, and we gotta help each other out. Gotta pull each other up when we're down, not, you know, the alternative. So, alright, you guys have a good night. Stay safe. Keep washing your hands, and we'll see you next time.
Keep wearing those masks too.
Yeah.
We're still in the pandemic.
Yeah. I washed mine just yesterday, actually, so I'm good. Alright, guys. Good night.
Night.